Follow Helen Paul and I, Frank Donga.
You forgot your show notes inside.
Can you imagine? That's what I'm looking for.
Over the last 3 years, we have traveled through the hills and the valleys of Nigeria.
I've seen people combine their coleslaw with ofada rice and pomo before.
Say what? As we uncover the untold stories of food heroes on the front lines.
There is no planting season for us. We produce here every week.
Connecting them to untapped opportunities and the experts who can solve their problems.
We advise farmers to top dress with urea at the rate of 90 kilograms per hectare.
For a very long time, I think we neglected farming in Nigeria.
We provide loan to these farmers, and then we've been working with them for like over 10 years now.
So anybody can participate in agriculture.
This is Farm&Fortune.
Over the last 3 years, we have traveled through the hills and the valleys of Nigeria, discussing with food heroes about their journey to impact. Today, we have the rare opportunity to reconnect with some of them.
You have seen them before and you loved them the first time you saw them. On today's special episode of Farm&Fortune, we are taking a trip back into their world to see how far they have come.
Now, before we show you how much progress they have made since we last saw them, let's take a look at the first time you saw them on this show. I'm Frank Donga.
And my name is Helen Paul. Welcome to your special episode of
Farm&Fortune.
My name is Yakubu Musa. I'm a rice farmer. My farm, we don't package rice. After production, we bag. After bagging, then our off-takers come, weigh, and they'll take it off. They are the people that will process and bag and brand and sell. For us, it's just to produce paddy, bag, and they'll take off. Peradventure, my off-taker were not able to reach to understanding if that because in business, after first MOU, you can still move the goalpost. Well, if he moves his goalpost, I'll move my goalpost too. It's just to go to local market and sell because there is always buyer. There is always rice buyer because that is the basic product people eat within our locality.
My name is Bala Musa Sanda. I'm from Kaduna State. And I've been farming ginger for the past 11 years. In Nasarawa land, it's not actually too easy. But here, there's no grasses. How do you? And once you do not mold it, it's a problem. The sun will affect it. You don't have fertilizer, you forget about farming ginger. But it demands fertilizer. These buyers, they come here to buy after you sell to them, until when they sell it. And sometimes they will give me coins. After 1 month, 3 months before they pay, so that's how I normally sell it here. Other times that if I felt that I have to travel to Kaduna where the ginger is being sold there.
Yakubu is an aggressive entrepreneur, and I see him coping with the two aspects, production and processing.
Do you think processing will not be good for him? I think combining the two will be good.
No, we're not saying it's not good for him. What we're trying to say is whatever you're doing, fine-tune it to the ultimate plus. Add plus on it. He could improve the variety, get more yield. He could start doing aromatic rice. Basmati rice grows in Nigeria, so why not?
I don't think Bala has subjected his soil for testing, right? Before he starts talking about the fertilizer to use. Because we encourage farmers to test their soil. Once they test their soil, a recommendation will be given to them by the expertise, because most of the soil are depleted with nutrients.
On this show, we have the passion and the mission to help farmers across this country and beyond. And in the first season, we showed you a few farmers that were doing well but could do better. On this episode, it's my pleasure to bring on board one of those farmers all the way from Niger State, Mr. Yakubu Musa, to share with us his success story. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you. And you're looking good. How's the Niger State?
Niger State is great,
Good. And how's the farm?
The farm is good.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions when you first featured on the show, there were certain things that were going on with your rice farm. Can you briefly tell us what was going on with your rice farm and business at that time?
Yeah, my farm, we're doing not too very well. But when OCP came to the farm and I was short all over the country, so most of my friends from UK, US were calling me, yeah, Musa, you're farming, you have a very big farm. And that was able to boost our morale and we're able to do more. More so, we have to employ technology. And with our discussion with OCP guys, we're able to employ more technology on how to do the farming as best as we were doing.
So tell me, what was your output like on the farm at that time and what challenges were you having?
Yeah, farming is no longer peasant. It's knowledge-driven. You understand? Before we used to take our rice from the nursery to the farm, but the spacing and fertilizer we use as at that time was different. But when we go, we get better. But since that time, we used to have like 3 to 4 tons per hectare. But now we're doing 8 tons.
So how are you getting 8 tons? What are you doing differently now?
Yeah, the spacing and the technology, we have to use power tillers and semi-technology, and we have to use spacing as most and the prescription of the fertilizer we use, and we get it.
So the kind of fertilizer you were using before and the ones you are using now, what would you say about the ease of use? Is it easier for you to use the fertilizer you're using now, or is it more difficult?
No, application of fertilizer is the same thing, but the impact, the dosage and the timing matters. And before, we just put, anytime we feel like applying fertilizer, we go up apply. But now you have a timetable. By this week, you put fertilizer. By next week, you allowed water to go in. By next week, you're able to. So that's why I tell you, it's knowledge driven. You understand? So it is all about knowledge. And now we're able to acquire those knowledge by getting specialists from National Cereal Research Institute, Badegi, and from OCP General. They are able to add value to our production processes.
Okay, so and the production processes that you're talking about in terms of planting rice and harvesting, what did you notice that you are doing that is different from the farms around you? Or how's the reaction of the farms around you?
No, and I said earlier, it is knowledge driven. Understand? Most of the time they will come, they say, how do you do it? So let me give you an instance. We had a farm, and a lot of all the villages around, they come to look at it. How do you do it? How do you do it? Unfortunately, I run Farm&Fortune hub. OCP allocated one hub for me. So we use that as a training ground for farmers around. They'll come, they'll ask questions. What type of chemical do you use? Is available for sale? What type of fertilizer you use is available for sale? And around us, they have different harvests.
Some people complain that capital, how do I get capital to start a farm? What do you advise? Or can you share with us your experience if you had that challenge initially? How did you solve it?
No, I have capital. This capital issue is relative. You understand? If you want to start farming and you don't have enough capital to start at a higher magnitude, start small. Start small. Start to feed yourself. Don't go to market. You'll be able to save. Your marginal propensity to consume and your marginal propensity to save is equal to your income. Generally, that is economic based. But then, if you want to start now and you want to be like me, it's not possible. You have to start small. But then there is NISA, there is some microfinance, there is some that finance this thing. There is refund that came that they, at the long run, they abuse it. They collect input from government and they will not go back to farm. They will sell it and use it. So there is no how you say you don't have capital. You have capital and use. If you are a serious farmer, there is always from family, from yourself, and use your own power, be able to start. When you start, there is seriousness in you, people will put money on you.
Good. So,
let me make this case. There are people that want to give me money to produce. I will give you my money, produce, I'll come and take. But when I collect that money, they will dictate how much they say. But no, I will not dictate. I'll use my own money, produce. If you want to buy at my price, you come and buy.
When you saw yourself on our show, how did you feel?
Looking great, guy. That was it. Most of the time, like one guy, I have a friend in UK. He called me, Musa. I says, why? I saw you on a program because this Arewa TV, you can watch it online and your YouTube channel. And this he watched
Farm&Fortune.
Farm&Fortune. They was, how do you do it? You are doing it big. I say, yeah. It's not that I'm doing it big because I have a target and I'm working towards that. I don't want to be Dangote. I don't want to be Big, but I want to produce food that Nigeria will be sustained.
Beautiful.
So that import will be reduced. We'll be able to gain FX advantage. So that since our community will have comparative advantage on rice production, then why don't us do it so that younger people will be able to copy from us? Now, younger ones, they follow me to the farm. We pay them their stipends, and now all of them have their farms. As you are going, you have your farm. I'm giving you money, you are spending on their farm. It's just like their savings. In the long run, you're able to get something to start their own farm in full-fledged.
It was a pleasure featuring your story, and it's also a pleasure having you here. And of course, like we say on this show, making sure that we're food sufficient in Nigeria and also bringing in foreign exchange is our mission.
Regime.
Congratulations to you on all your achievements on your farm, and we wish you all the very best as you go out. What are the plans for the future?
The future is unknown. For me, generally, I'm a short-term person. But we have to plan for the future. I have a dream that one day we'll be able to feed our nation. We are not going to import anything rice from any country. We have comparative advantage of rice, arable land in Niger State. I have a dream one day, all the young men sitting in their chambers should be able to go to farm and produce and feed Nigeria because we have the capacity, we have the intellectuality, we have the land, and the only thing we need is government and political will to see that these boys are back to land. And the future is going to be bright.
Thank you. Some of the farmers we met on our journey across Nigeria asked questions, and our experts provided answers. One of such is Mr. Bala Musa, a ginger farmer in Nasarawa State. Now, let's go and check out his progress reports and see how well he's doing and solving his problems. We'll be right back.
Sometime in September last year, 2001, Farm&Fortune came to Nasarawa State. Before the show in 2021, when Farm&Fortune visited Nasarawa State in Akonga, where I reside, I had poor aspect of marketing. But as they came, and with the interview I had with Farm&Fortune, I was actually encouraged to get in touch with those who are equally in ginger farming in other places so that they can expose and equally make other people to know that one is farming ginger in Nasarawa State. The aspect of the mulching, which has been a great problem, as I apply using grass and using leaves of other trees to cover it, because as you mulch it, those leaves, after they have rotten, it serves as a kind of a manure to eat again. So I discovered that my ginger farm this year is actually blooming. And in application of, I would advise to apply NPK. And in application of the NPK, which I used this year, I saw it very wonderful. And if you see my ginger now, with the application of the NPK, actually formed it from the stain, you can see that it's something that one can see and really say Farm&Fortune have done something. Before, I had a challenge in marketing. Before Farm&Fortune visited me in September 2021. When they came, on their own, they air me in the whole world where I was seen everywhere. And people who never knew that ginger is being farmed in Nasarawa State, they started having in contact with me to get how they can get ginger. And that's how their coming has actually impacted. I've added more value in my ginger farming, particularly in aspect of marketing, which now it is there's no problem as to market my ginger in Nasarawa State because of Farm&Fortune visit. Apart from that, people that were not having interest, or rather that were not farming ginger in Nasarawa State, picked interest in it and came and asked how would they go into this ginger farming. And by the grace of God, I was able to introduce about 15 farmers that have never farmed ginger in their life. Because of the coming of Farm&Fortune in Nasarawa State, they picked interest. And many of them had gone into ginger farming. I was surprised, one of the farmers who have never farmed ginger, I went to inspect his farm. I discovered that his portion of land that is even more bigger than my own. Since they are indigenous, they have the land, they have the means of farming, more bigger than my own. So you see, I want to believe that Nasarawa State is going to experience a bumper harvest as this year and next year, which will create more awareness for people to come into ginger farming in Nasarawa State.
Welcome to the DIY segment. Today, we'll be making a self-watering bottle. Look around your house for any regular bottle with a functional cork or cover. Fill the bottle with water and cover it. Drive a nail through the cork to create a tiny hole, then turn the bottle upside down above the plant. Water will slowly seep out of the bottle into the soil around the plant to keep it hydrated while you're away. Most bottles can last up to 3 days. That's our hack for today. Join us next week for another DIY tip.
It's still Farm&Fortune, and this segment is known as Secrets of the Soil. But before we go into the secrets, let's meet our soil experts in person of Miss Abarichuku Marian Ugadi. Good to have you in the studio, Mama.
Thank you, ma'am.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
So what's the secrets of the soil we're looking at today?
We'll be looking at rice production. And rice, also known as paddy, is a cereal crop. The most suitable soil for this rice is clay loam. This is because clay loam soil has the ability to retain and hold water and nutrients because rice is a water-loving plant. For optimum performance, pH level of 6 to 8 is required for the growth of rice. Now, let's take a look at the soil test report of rice. From the screen, you can see that the available phosphorus is very low. The total nitrogen and calcium, they are very low, and this makes up major macronutrients. Then we have zinc, which is low, and then boron, which is very low, and this makes up micronutrients. From this soil test report, you can see that major macronutrients, which are available phosphorus, calcium, and total nitrogen, are limiting in this field.
That's right.
And boron and zinc, which are micronutrients, are also limiting in this field. Then looking at the pH, you can see that the pH level of this field is also low, and thus need an agricultural line to raise the level of the pH. Having said that, let's see what fertilizer recommendations say. At replanting, it is recommended that calcitic lime at the rate of 600 kg per hectare, which is equivalent to 12 bags of 50 kg, should be applied, and this should be done after harvest. It is important for farmers to know that a maximum of 3 tons per hectare is applied in one season. They should always check for the quality of lime before application to avoid errors. At pre-planting now, it is recommended that NPK 15-15-15 at the rate of 3 to 80 kg per hectare, which is equivalent to 6.4 bags of 50 kg, is applied at planting. Then moving forward, we advise farmers to top dress with urea at the rate of 90 kg per hectare, which is equivalent to 1.8 bags of 50 kg. This should be applied at 4 weeks after planting. Duration of right timing in fertilizer application is very important. In addition, we also advise farmers to top dress with urea at the rate of 90 kg per hectare, which is equivalent to 1.8 bags or 50 kg. And this should be done at 8 weeks after planting. Micronutrients are very important for optimum growth of rice. So we advise farmers to apply zinc foliar feeds at tiering. This should be done 2 to 3 repeatedly at interval of 10 to 14 days. They should also apply boron foliar spray during vegetative rice growth. Then we also advise farmers to apply extra sulfur at planting. This is to enable rice to grow very well and at the end of the day have optimum productivity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I didn't know that the process for rice planting is so much work. I'm admiring you. I can't believe it. Pre-planting, planting, top dressing. Oh my goodness. Thank you for this information.
Thank you,
It's still Farm and Fortune. Don't go anywhere. Next is Banter. Welcome back. It's still Farm and Fortune, and this is Banter with Helen Paul. Today, we have 2 of our beautiful viewers who are visiting us on the show for the game segment. Are you ready? The first person is Mary Bukola. Good to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
And of course, we have Michael Jeremiah. Please tell me something. What's your favorite segment of the show?
I'd say the DIY segment where we're taught how to make farm produce.
That's to do it yourself.
Yes.
So you've learned some things. Great. All right, Mr. Jeremiah, tell me, what's your favorite segment?
Okay, I love my favorite segment is the SOS, Secrets of the Soil. This is where we talk about analysis on soil analysis, basically. And, yeah.
All right, it's time for us to play the Farm and Fortune trivia game. Are you ready?
Yes, yeah.
All right, so the Farm and Fortune trivia game, the first correct answer that gets the point will go straight to the buzzer and say, "Ta, I'm ready." You give the answer. And of course, if you're the lucky winner, you will be going home with 100,000 Naira worth of farm inputs. We'll be asking you questions about the show. Because you've been seeing the show, we got you online, you said, yes, I watched the show, I haven't missed any segments. And of course, we picked you. Are you ready for these questions?
Yes,
we are.
I hope you're not scared. I'm even scared to ask you.
No, I'm not.
Who do you think the winner will be?
Me, of course.
Why do you think you'll be the winner?
Because I have, followed every of this episode, and I think I'm actually very prepared for it.
Great. What about you?
Because I follow the show religiously.
Religiously? 5 times daily or 3 times daily?
Wow.
24 hours. All right, so let's play the game. Are you ready? Let's go to the questions. Which of this is not a crop that has been featured on Farm and Fortune? A, maize. B, rice. C, cocoa. D, plantain.
D, plantain.
D, plantain. Correct. Number 2, which of these farmers have been featured on Farm and Fortune? A, Sunday Martins. B, Joseph Martins. C, Bala Isa. 4, Hassan Bello.
Sunday Martins.
Sunday Martins. Number 3, on what TV station did Farm and Fortune air last season? A, TVC and AIT. B, Arewa TV and NTA. D, TVC and Arewa. D, STV, PDP and VCP.
C, TVC and Arewa.
How many episodes has Farm and Fortune aired in total?
C19.
C19. Number 5. The title of episode 6 of season 2 is A, Ginger Glory. B, Across Border. C, Rain Proof. D, Rotten Journey.
C, Rain Proof.
C, Rain Proof. Number 6. Which of these villages has Farm and Fortune visited to meet a farmer? A, Abidjan. B, Hussein. C, Doko. D, Mi.
C, Doko.
Doko. Number 7. Which of these guests featured in one of the interviews of season 2? Number 1, Enaoro Martins, Yakubu Musa, John Bada, and D, Olayinka Ibrahimo.
A, Enaoro Martins.
A, Enaoro Martins. All right, number 8. How many episodes does each season of Farm&Fortune have? 1, 4, and 6. B, 6 and 13. C, 11 and 7. D, 8 and 9.
D, B, 6 and 13.
B, D. What are you choosing?
B, 6 and 13.
For pressing my bell and not being sure of your answer, disqualified. Number 8, no answer. Number 9. The title of the 10th episode of season 2 is A, Sweet in the Middle. B, Cocoa Hawk. C, Better Together. D, Rotten Johnny.
B, Cocoa Hawk.
Cocoa Hawk. Number 10. Which of this is a DIY hack from Farm&Fortune? A, how to make cocoa butter. B, how to make ginger powder. C, how to make cashew powder. And D, how to make cocoa powder.
B, how to make ginger powder.
B, how to make ginger powder. All right, don't forget that on Farm&Fortune, we'll always give a winner. And our winner will be going home with 100,000 Naira worth of farm inputs. Don't also forget that everyone is a winner on Farm&Fortune. But we'll be right back to give you the winner. Let's go for now. It's still Farm&Fortune, and this time we want to announce the winner of our banter. We had 10 questions, 1 disqualified, and of course the rest. Who got the correct answer the most? And the winner is... And the winner will be going home with 100,000 Naira worth of farm inputs. The second winner will also go home with something. Everyone is a winner on the show. But sincerely speaking, the winner is no other than Jeremiah Michael!
Congratulations.
Why did you congratulate him?
Thank you.
Even though it was
Give
not
me a hug.
Go.
And that's it on Banter. It's still Farm&Fortune. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It was quite emotional on the show today, seeing our old friends once again. Helen?
Yes?
Whose progress do you find most remarkable?
I sincerely can't pick anyone because they've all grown up. But sincerely speaking, I learned today that information is indeed powerful.
Indeed so. Absolutely mind-blowing. Well, it's time to draw the curtains, guys. Thank you for coming on this nostalgic ride with us.
We'll be right back next week with a new episode of Farm&Fortune. New farmers, new guests, great conversations as always.
And until then, you know what to do. Follow us on our social media handle at Farm&Fortune on YouTube and Instagram. Like, share, and subscribe.
My name is Helen Paul.
I'm Frank Donga.
And see you next week.